I ignored the advice of a tattoo artist, and that is something I never thought I would do. Here's the story. I wanted a tattoo on my upper forearm. I wanted it to say Mama and my 3 daughters' birth years. Sorry, I tie-dyed today. So I start looking around at local tattoo shops because it was a very simple tattoo. Like, anyone could do it. I didn't need anyone super talented or fancy. Well, there happens to be a tattoo shop up the street from me, but it is in a really dirty, sketchy shopping center right next to a liquor store. But I decided not to judge a book by its cover, and I messaged the guy the night before about what I wanted, and he said sure. So I came in early the next morning. Well, I walk in, the first thing I notice is it smells like pot. Do I care if you smoke pot? I do not. Is smoking pot in a place of business a little unprofessional? I think so. The next thing I noticed, which was a much bigger red flag, was it was dirty in there. Like, there was dust everywhere, all over the counters, which, made me ask the guy about his cleaning process. And I made sure that they used new needles with every tattoo because that's something I definitely care about. Anyway, I get there before him. He comes in after me. He says, hold on, let me get ready, let me get set up. I go, no hurry at all. Which he then responds, I don't hurry for any motherfucker. I've never hurried a day in my life. Okay, so this is this guy's personality. Not a personality I vibe with particularly, but he's a tattoo artist in this sketchy tattoo shop. He's trying to be a badass. There's rap music playing. I see the vibe. Okay, I'm not gonna be sensitive. It's whatever. He's a white guy, by the way. Tattoos all over his face and head and shit. Don't think I'm going there. Well, he's trying to print out the paperwork I need. The printer is not working. He's like, let me go get some more printer paper. I'm like, you're fine. Oh, yeah, I know I'm fine for my age. And I'm like, oh my God, if this is going to be how every conversation we have goes, I'm just not going to talk very much. Well, we get to the process where he's asking what I want. And I tell him what I want. And I said, I want Mama with 2018, 2021, and 2024 underneath it. And I want it in a typewriter font, which he then responds with, why? I respond with, I want it legible. I want it clear. I don't want it to look like it's a memorial for a dead person. He responds with, you're a girl. That's a man tattoo. You need something more soft and delicate. And what about this font? I go, okay, well, that font is kind of cute. It's legible. I guess I can take your advice with that. And then he goes, and I can't do the 20 in front of the numbers. He goes, I can do 18, 21, 24. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. That would kind of make it look like a date. And he goes, well, no date starts with 18. And I go, that's true. But I don't know. It's still not what I'm going for. What about if we just do Mama and forget the dates? And he's like, no, we got to do the dates. At this point, I really should have walked out, but I guess I was in it for the plot. So he prints out the stencils. These stencils are huge. They are like half of my arm. And I go, no, these are way too big. This is not what I wanted. And he goes, I can't make them smaller than this. They will just blur together. They're half of my arm. And I go, then I don't want it then because that is too big. I would rather not have a tattoo at all than to have that. And he goes, I can't make it smaller because it'll be illegible in a year. Which I then show him this tattoo. And I go, I've had this one for 10 years. And he goes, yeah, I can tell. I bet it didn't look like that when you got it. And I went back and I checked the pictures later on that day, and it did look like this when I got it. I mean, it was a little bit crisper, but as you can see, it's still legible. And I go, sorry, dude, I I'm sorry I wasted your time. I don't want the tattoo anymore. And I walked out. So at this point, I'm in my car. I'm thinking about just going home. I'm done with the tattoo. I don't want a tattoo if it's going to be half of my arm. But I decide to go up the street to a different tattoo shop just to ask questions and get opinions and get their thoughts. And I bring the paper and with what I drew on there, and I take it to the man and I go, okay, be honest with me. How little can I get this tattoo where it will still be legible in 10 years? And he goes, you can get it that size. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure it's not going to blur together in 10 years? And he goes, yeah, I'll use a really small needle. I promise. So we did it. I ignored the first guy's advice and I went ahead and I got the tattoo. And we're going to see what it looks like in 10 years. But yeah, that was my experience, and it was an experience. Anyway, if you guys have small tattoos and you've had them for a long time, please leave them in the comments and tell me how old they are and make me feel better about this one. And let me see if yours blurred together into a unlegible blob mess.